that, we'll gradually go on to the tools and everything. Okay. So yeah, Alteryx background again, nothing much, founded in 2010, right? So when you got to know about Alteryx basically, is it recent or you were aware of this application long back?
I have heard of this application when seen people working on SSIS Informatica, right? So those
Mm-hmm.
also there also you can create this data flow
Workflow,
some right? Yeah,
correct.
workflow. So that
There
time
is
only
another
they
tool
talked about
called
Alteryx.
Orange. With I don't know whether you have heard of it or not. That is
No, I
also,
haven't heard.
yeah, kind of similar. But Alteryx is like market leader as of now for ETL and
Mm-hmm.
all those kind of advanced analytics, right? So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
okay, so yeah, so headquarters in California, published, it's a publicly listed company, right, in NYC. So that's it. Let's go ahead quickly. Product overview. Here we have four products. Okay, Alteryx Designer, Alteryx Server, Alteryx Intelligence Suite, and Alteryx Analytics Hub. So the work which we will do is on the Alteryx Designer. This is the desktop version. Okay. What is the benefits of this?
Yeah.
You will
All
see
right.
visual data workflow creation, drag and drop, right? Data blending, transformation, advanced analytics, integrate predictive, spatial, and machine learning capabilities. All those things are already included in Alteryx Designer. Basically, you can do everything, but it's an application. It's an application which you can download in your laptop and do it on system or do it, right? Second one is
Okay.
Alteryx Server. It's basically a server version of this, where you will upload do the collaboration automation. Let's say you have created certain workflow, you want to publish it somewhere. You can publish it in the Alteryx basically server. Okay,
Mm.
and it can run automatically also. Here every time you will have to, Alteryx Designer doesn't have that capability saying that
So
run
in
this
server you
workflow.
can schedule the work, right? Whatever
Correct,
you have done. So
correct,
every day they will
exactly.
run the workflow
Exactly, yeah. Every day, every
automatic
hour,
schedule.
every minute, whenever you want.
Okay.
Okay, so it depends upon requirement basically. As of now, for now, I have built an workflow for my company where the data is getting pulled from some application and a report is getting generated and a dashboard is getting prepared, right? So that report right now currently I'm running it every day. Now we are planning to update or upgrade it to upload it to a server, so that will run every day, let's say morning 9 a.m., right? So that we'll have
Mm-hmm.
to don't have to run it every day manually,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll have some person dependent on the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason.
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, so that is for Alteryx server. Then Alteryx Intelligence Suite. This is specifically for AI, AutoML, NLP processing tool. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is majorly focused on AI part. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth one, Analytics Hub. Again, it's a cloud platform for workflow management and collaboration. Okay. So these are the major four products which Alteryx uh, currently having, right?
Mm.
Okay. Core values, I mean, customer first, all those things are already there. I mean, you can find it in anyway. I'll just quickly move on. Market person, leader in self-service data analytics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Currently, who is the
Yeah.
competitors here for Alteryx? Tableau, Power BI, Click, SAS,
Mm.
and there are many other, because every day you will see
Mm-hmm.
certain new
Yeah. New
company
BI
coming in.
tools coming in.
Correct,
Yes.
correct,
Yes.
correct. Yeah. Okay, so that's the reason. There are others. Differentiator, what is the differentiator for Alteryx and all these tools? Basically, complete data workflow platform, prep, blend, analyze, and automate. Okay, and you have advanced analytics as well, right? So all those machine learning capabilities are also included in this, right, in Alteryx. So that part is also there. Okay. Key partnership acquisition, strategic partnership with Microsoft, AWS, Google Cloud, and
Mm-hmm.
Snowflake, and
Yeah. Okay.
acquired basically on Trifecta in 2019, and Trifecta is
Trifecta.
nothing but the same as the uh, server, right? The server which we are
Mm-hmm.
talking about is the nothing but the trifecta. Okay, so it
Okay.
acquired and it
So,
renamed it
yeah.
as server.
So
Okay,
this strategic partner means Alteryx can connect with all the cloud platforms.
correct, correct.
Yeah, I use this very frequently, Snowflake. So yeah,
Okay,
it's good to know.
okay, okay. Maybe you can give me some understanding on Snowflake because I have not used Snowflake as of now.
Yeah, again, it's again you can query. I just have seen the interface, right? We use mainly
Okay,
Snowflake as a database that we connect Power BI with.
okay.
Then we can build visual on top. But again, SAS has partnership with Snowflake. So to
Hmm.
write some macro which can push data to Snowflake. In
Hmm.
Snowflake, again, you have this data warehouse, then you have database schema and tables views. Everything can be created.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
you can also apply some security measures that everyone will not be able to see some data. Based on that, we have designed backend architecture. I mean, the company has designed,
Hmm.
and we can follow it. Again, you can provide role-based access through which
Okay.
people can access it. There is time travel, you can retrieve deleted data, and a lot of other features are there.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
again, you can connect to Azure and AWS through Snowflake. External connection, internal connection, everything is there. So I'm also
Hmm.
learning, but yeah, as a database, I'm using this because
Okay.
initially we used to use SQL Server,
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
Hadoop, so those were removed. Now Snowflake, people have started using.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Good to know. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Use case for Alteryx is data preparation and cleaning, where Alteryx is often used to prep data, right? Include
Mhm,
cleaning,
mhm,
transforming, merging data set, and all those things, right? Second one is predictive analysis, where users can apply machine learning algorithm, right, and statistical model to predict future outcome, basically, right? So basically, machine learning and forecasting that is comes under predictive analysis, right? Then comes the spatial analysis, geospatial analysis, and all, right? Alteryx helps organizing, analyzing geographic data as well, right? To optimize basically all those operational work, right? Let's say you have a Coca-Cola company where you are working in a Coca-Cola branch where you need to analyze, let's say, how long it uh, takes for a cargo vehicle to go from distributor to
mhm.
distributor, right? What was the best route? So you can do all those things of kind of calculation as well. So it can be used in supply chain as well. It will
Yeah,
give you the
in
best route which can be
logistic planning, right? I think there was
correct,
certain task,
correct, correct, which
transportation and
can
logistic planning. So,
correct.
okay.
Okay. Then automate reporting routine task, basically to schedule, right? You can schedule it in the server. It will automate everything. Okay, regular reporting, data transfer, data aggregation, all those things can be automated. And the best thing is you are preparing the workflow and all the steps are visible in the workflow, right? What and all and
Mhm,
things you are doing in other application, or let's take an example of Excel, where you do certain simple data calculation, right? So there you don't have step by step. I mean, I can modify some line item, but there is no it's not visible, right? Let's suppose you are sharing it to someone else, they have to understand, take some time to understand what is happening in this report or something, right? But here, if you give someone this workflow or any workflow you have developed, they will understand if they have understanding of the all tricks, right? So the workflow is basically
yeah.
transparent.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay, learning and community resources, Alteryx community, this is
Is the workflow also kind of protected? Like, can everyone access the workflow, or are there some restrictions, like just to protect the workflow, like only selected people will be able to modify it, or
you can do
what?
that also, but in a default format, everyone can able to access and view. But you can restrict the application through by giving, let's say, machines ID, right? If you give certain machines ID saying that only these machines will
Mhm.
should be able to open my workflow, and you need to
Yes.
specify that in the workflow setting, and post that other machine, if the ID is not matching, they will be not be able to open it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay, Alteryx community, simply in Google type Alteryx community. I've showed you in the first day, right? When we met.
mhm.
So that is nothing but just create an Alteryx community account. Okay. This is for your learning.
Okay.
You can ask questions, get all those help or understanding from the other peers as well. You have learning as well, right? You have self
Mhm.
learning courses where where you can go ahead and practice the things as well, right? you, you have all those things, kind of things, right? You have blog, success story, podcast, excellence award, all those things are there. Okay, so that is for that is about Alteryx learning, basically collaboration support. You have Alteryx academy, same under Alteryx community. You will select academy, you will have free course and certification, right? The Alteryx
Mhm.
designer certification that day which I showed, it's completely
Mhm.
free, but
Mhm.
it's you have to pass, I think the cutoff mark is 65 or 70. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Last time when I attended,
Okay.
I think it was 70 or something. I don't exactly recall, but yeah. So that is free up, free, basically examination, but it's not
But
easy, right? You have to
mhm.
pass it, right?
But how do you prepare for this? Like, are there any specific method or strategy to be followed?
I mean, it's all about practice, right? The course which we'll cover now, we will cover everything,
Mhm.
right? We'll
Okay.
cover all the things. Just do one thing, just practice all those things, right? And for me, the good part is I'm using this in my company as well, right? So I have
Mhm.
the practice. I had the practice when I was
Daily
attending the exam.
practice. Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
So if you are not using this, I would suggest you just, I mean, the 1 month or 15 days demo, whatever you have, just practice
Mhm.
as much as you can during that period. Okay, after
Okay.
that you create one Alteryx community learning account. Here you have learning path as well, right? You just click on learning path.
Mhm.
Okay, here you have all those kind of learning path. Here if you click on getting started, inside that it will be kind of video content, but inside that you have a certain window where you will do have access to Alteryx application. You will drag and drop as per the video. They will, I mean, it will suggest you to just do those kind of activity. It is also good, place to
Mhm.
learn. Okay, it is a
Yeah.
15 hours course content basically. Okay,
Okay. Mhm.
so you have to dedicate that time. Then once you complete that, you go on into the next one, next one, next one, all those kind of things. Okay. And here is the certification exam. Certification exam is here, right? So as I mentioned, you can go with the micro credential. Micro credential are little small 1 hour kind of thing. Okay. Once you complete all those, you will have designer desktop this certification. Otherwise, you directly go with this. It's a 2.5 hour exam. Okay, and 80 question. It's not, I mean, I would not say it's a rocket science kind of thing. I mean, you can able to complete, but have just kind of little bit of understanding of all tricks. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
maybe after the course, once you are comfortable, you can go with this. And it's, I mean, it's not like once you give this, you don't have option. I mean, I think it refresh every 7 days if I remember. Okay, suppose you fail first time, go ahead, don't worry, go ahead and do it on the next week. Okay, so basically it will give you, I mean, will be practiced as well, and I mean, it will
Mhm.
increase your knowledge and definitely will pass, right? So even
Mhm.
in my case, I have also, I think I've attended twice. First time I have not passed.
Mhm.
Okay, so don't worry about this, and once you complete this, then go for the advanced and all those things.
So these
So
are all MCQ questions, right? Multiple choice questions.
not all the questions are
Not
multiple
all.
choice. You have sometimes it will give you the data set also. Okay, and
Mhm.
you have to perform the analysis in Alteryx and give the answer.
Okay.
Okay, so those kind of things will also be there. Okay, so during that time, I would suggest create a free account. Okay, and have Alteryx application installed in your system, so that it will be easy for you to do all those kind of calculation. I think from 80 question you will have 5 to 10 question like that where you will need certain kind of calculation. Otherwise, it will give in the video itself, the question itself, the drag and drop option or some kind of option over there itself, right? You don't have to go to external application.
Mm. All right.
Okay, and it's an open book exam, so I mean there is no restriction. Nobody is judging you whether you are searching it go in Google or not. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can do all those things. But the thing is, you have to keep it above that 60-70%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next, come to the application access which you are asking about the license, right? So if you go to learn Sparked Education, Alteryx has tie up with Sparked Education. So if you have certain university email address, if you are a student basically, okay, so you
So
can
that university email ID can be used only once, right? Or multiple time
correct,
can we
correct.
use it?
No, once itself.
Only
Okay,
once. Okay.
only once and one system only. Okay,
Okay.
so you can come here and inside Sparked Education, and you can basically enroll, right? You are a student and you can have the Alteryx application for 1 year also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but to do that you have to be a student basically of any
Okay.
recognized university.
Mm-hmm. Corporate email IDs don't work, right? By
No,
any
no, no,
chance? It doesn't work.
no. It will verify basically. I think the verification company, I don't remember exactly, but the email ID will be verified if it's from any university or not, and it's a
Okay.
valid university or not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So basically, the conclusion is Alteryx is powerful and accessible platform, right, for anyone working with data from business analytics and data scientist, right?
Mm.
Okay, let's go on. Mm, I'll show you the Alteryx application as well. Open Alteryx. Okay, let me close
Mm.
all these things.
Yes. Initially, how it will look like, can
Yeah,
start
I'll
from
do
that.
that. Let me just check everything. Okay. Okay, just once it is installed, you just have to open Alteryx Designer. Okay. The version is 2023 1.1.12. Is the latest version basically. Okay.
Mm. Okay. 123. Okay. So,
Once you open, it will ask whether you need to keep AMP engine or not. That's fine. You close it. You have welcome to Alteryx tutorial. If you want to learn about how things are, how the things. I mean, you can learn on your own as well, right? Okay. So let's close this pop-up. This is very informative if you're a new person. I basically learned everything from here, from this page itself. Okay. Close it out. So this is Alteryx. Okay. The application will look like this. The top one you will have files. Okay, you will can create a new workflow. Open. I mean, it's normal, right? In any other application, you open any workflow, right? Manage connection, all those kind of things. Okay, edit, view. You can activate the tool palette. You can deactivate the tool palette. All those things, kind of things. Okay, you can
yeah.
activate the overview, deactivate the overview, result window, configuration, and
Tool
interface
palette is
designer.
the option that you see on the top. Is it what the tool palette is?
Correct, correct. I'll show you. So tool palette is nothing but this one, the favorite, recommendation, in and out, right? All the
Hmm.
tools are
Okay.
residing here, right? So that's the reason it's called tool palette.
Hmm.
Okay. So in tool palette, first one is your favorite. So favorite, you can mention any tool as favorite so that it will reflect here. Otherwise, by default, it will have certain favorite as per the users, right? So mostly will have browse, input, data, tool, output, all those things. And some of the extra tools are favorite because I have kept it as favorite. Okay. But when you
Hmm.
open, you will have certain, I mean, you will not have all those favorites thing. Okay. But you can make it as favorite. Recommended, again, depending upon your work, it will recommend the tool, right? So
Hmm.
favorite and recommended, it will change depends upon the person to person usage. Okay.
Yeah, depend on user. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Okay. And best part of Alteryx is you can drag and drop anything, right? You can drag and drop any tool from anywhere. Okay. You can drag and drop and you can connect. So this is called anchor. The this anchor, the green one which you are seeing, this is called anchor. Okay.
Hmm.
So for any tool, if the anchor is on the basically left hand side, so this will call the receiving anchor. Okay.
Hmm.
If you see, this input tool doesn't have any receiving anchor, right? Because this is
Hmm.
again a input data itself, right?
Hmm.
It only has output anchor here.
Okay.
Okay. So this data, this will go to here, here. This can go to any of the input of any other tool.
Input of
Okay.
anything. Okay. So this has two inputs, like it is showing like two
Correct.
inputs and
Correct. Some
yeah.
has two, three inputs. So it
But
depends.
this is
So the
join tool, right? Join
correct.
tool. So
Correct.
okay, it can take multiple inputs, right? Like is it like two inputs or
No, no.
maybe more than two
Here,
inputs?
here you will have multiple also. See. So it depends upon tool to tool. That will cover in our next. I
Yeah.
mean, when we go ahead and do all those kind of tool kind of base specific details, then we'll understand because all these tools have their
Mm-hmm.
own configuration.
Okay.
Okay, so see,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all these tools have their own configuration. You can
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
okay,
Once
so it
you
depends.
explain this, that time we can
Yes,
discuss.
yes, yes. So basically, so the reason for me to explain you this input and output is because this is very basic. You have to understand this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you hover over, let's say you are dragging something, and if you hover over to any tool, next to any tool, it will create a dot line. So that means the Alteryx is detecting it can connect to this also.
Okay.
Okay,
Filter. Okay. Okay. Uh,
hold on. Okay, all right. So this is the play area, this white space which we are seeing, it's called canvas. Okay, where we'll do all those kind of analysis, drag and drop, calculation, all those things. This is called canvas. Okay,
okay.
the left hand side which you are seeing here, this is called configuration panel, the left hand side. Okay, now because I have not selected anything, this is showing workflow configuration. That means this will configure the workflow itself. Okay, the first one is for canvas. You want to configure the canvas, keep it a vertical, you can keep it as vertical as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
keep it as horizontal. So this is basically configuring the canvas. Okay, annotate. You want to show the annotation or hide the annotation. Annotation is nothing but whenever it is running, it will mention that how many KB and all data is flowing and all, right? All those things do you want to show or hide, right? So all those things can be done here.
Mm.
Connection progress, you want to see how the data flows from one tool to another, it will show only when running. You have hide option, you have show always as well, you have hide or you have show only when running. Right now it's connected at show only when running. Okay, this is the
Show only
configuration.
connection. So
Yeah,
it means show only when running, connection progress. So it is right now showing a solid line, right? Whatever you're
correct.
connecting to
No,
different tool.
correct, correct.
Mm.
So this is only connection is there, right? We have
Yes,
connected
connection
this.
is there.
but
Yes.
the data, the flow of data will show when we run it successfully, right? So it will show this kb is over here now. 5 kb went here, 3 kb went here, all those things.
Okay.
So only when
Mm,
connection in
mm,
progress will show like that. Okay.
okay.
And you have overview. Let's say you have created a huge kind of workflow, and you can hover around here, complete workflow as well. Okay, zoom in,
Okay.
zoom out from
I
here.
just have one small question, like,
Yeah.
uh, even there was a tool before, like, MicroStrategy. So,
Hmm.
workflow not, but we used to create visuals. But again, if you want to check
Hmm.
what is running behind, because I assume, if you're using this join tool or filter tool, right? So some query or something is executing behind, right? It's just the user doesn't have to write a code, because this tool, right,
Hmm.
is making things easier for you for the price it is charging. So
Hmm.
by any chance, can you see the backend query, like when you execute something, what has run behind? Like, if you apply filter, like this data, it has taken some, applied the filters, and then provided some output. So is it possible to view the uh, internal queries which is running every time you execute this workflow?
Hmm. Okay, so all these tools are obviously based in some code, right? So
Yes,
those
yes.
codes are not visible here, right? But
Okay,
in
understood. Okay.
Alteryx, you can create a code or combined 3 4 application altogether and create a separate application as well, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
called macro. But
Mm-hmm.
once you create the macro, you can see what and all tools are connected. But inside tools, what code is written and how it's working, that you
Yeah.
can't see.
Because yeah, after execution of every block, I think some script is getting executed in the backend,
Correct, correct.
but we
That's
cannot
right.
see it, right?
We
It's
can't
not
see it.
possible to see it. Okay.
No, no, no. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because all these tools have their own configuration, right? So you can't
Mm-hmm.
go behind that configuration itself to, see what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go with the full-fledged thing, then I mean there are different tool altogether, right? Which you can
Mm-hmm.
do coding and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, so this is overview where you will see the complete workflow. And one thing you have noticed just now, either you have noticed it or not. Now see the configuration panel, the things have changed, right?
Join tool.
Correct.
Uh,
Because just that's because we have clicked on join, right? So
yes.
configuration tool is basically whenever you clicked on any tool, it will
It will
show
show
you
the
the configuration.
configuration.
Correct.
So what
Correct.
is it
Okay.
called, like this join tool, and is it called tool or is it called blocks?
No, it's called tool. All
Tool.
this,
Okay.
all these thing items you are seeing, it's called tool.
Okay.
Okay. And all these have their own configuration. If you see, join have its own configuration, union has its own configuration. Okay. Filter has its own configuration. It depends upon the tool to tool. Okay. And if
Okay.
you don't select anything, click on canvas, it will have their own configuration, right?
Yes. I think it's little similar to what you have in SSIS or other tools where you're designing the workflow. It also provides similar options. So yeah, I
Hmm.
think that is great.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
All right. And
Just need to understand, when you see the configuration, click on something. What does this configuration mean? Like, by changing the configuration, what we can achieve.
correct,
That is something that needs to be learned,
correct. So
because the
that's the thing,
options are a
right?
little bit different. Yeah.
Correct. So that's why we're going tool by tool, right? So we'll
Mm-hmm.
learn each tool, then we'll mm, connect all these tools to learn how things will work, right? First, that's the reason we have to understand first tool by tool what is the work, what is the
Mm-hmm.
basic configuration, how to do, what is the work of this specific tool. Once you understand that, you can go one by one, right? And you can create a
Mm-hmm.
workflow altogether by connecting all these tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you have result window. Result window is nothing but this one, the below. Okay, so it will show how when designer running started, when it ends, right? What are the, do you have any error? If there are error, what are the errors? Okay, like here it's saying started running at this time. Then designer reported running at low priority, the priority was low. Then allocation of memory, all these things happen. Then it's showing union tool, there is a loop in tool connecting cannot execute 323, right? So it's saying union tool, there is a issue in union tool, the tool is not configured. Okay. And amp engine is running and finished running with one error. So basically there is error. Mostly we have not set up anything, right? Because it's blank, right? The input data itself is blank. So we have got that error. Okay. So result window will reflect all the result of your workflow, or if you click on any specific tool, it will select show the result of that specific tool itself. Make sense, Ricky?
Mm-hmm. It result window. This is the
Okay,
result window, right? It is showing the log of executions, like
correct.
what
As
is
of now,
executed.
correct, correct.
And
But
this
if you
red color
click
is
on,
showing error. Okay, showing error.
yeah, rates are, if you see all here, all one error. If you have conversical error, your warning information is there. And if you have any executed output files also reflect over here. Okay,
Okay, so does
you'll
it
have
show
everything.
exact detail of the error, like what is the error, so that we can troubleshoot?
Yeah, yeah, it will show.
There's a
If you
loop.
can,
Okay, okay, yeah, okay,
if you see, I mean, configure it properly, it will show all the specific error as well.
okay.
Okay. So union, why what is saying? The union is error is saying that there is a loop in tool connecting Canada. So basically, it's saying union's output is again connected to union's input indirectly, right? If you see,
Hmm.
output is
Means
coming to
output.
join,
Join,
join
yes.
again going to input, right? It's again will
Okay,
create an
so
infinite
it's,
loop.
yeah, like a circular reference. Yes.
Yeah, it will create an infinite loop, right? So let's say if you have five
Mm,
data set here, five will come here, merge together with another five, 10.
okay,
So
so
it will
every time
become
it
infinite.
is doing a union, it will again join and do a union, and this will continue.
Correct.
Uh,
And that's the reason it's showing there is a loop in tool, right?
okay, so this is not allowed. That means, okay,
Correct, correct. Okay. So
okay.
once you
So if you're
once you
designing this, entire, configuration incorrectly, so Alteryx will give an error that's
give an
saying that,
error.
this is not how it is supposed to be designed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. And you can basically play with all these. You can remove all these. You can, align as per your view,
Mhm.
preference as well, right? If you
Okay.
want to hide or keep, you can do all those things.
So, sir,
And
is there any, if you're using the input tool, just, maybe one thing, is there any limitation on how much data it can consume? Like, if you specify a very big data, right, like from somewhere, maybe from server or from any other place, which is like, 150, 200 GB. I had one SAS file which was like around 132 GB or something. It's very huge. If you're running any code, it takes hours to, execute because the
mm,
data is so huge. It goes into, more than 100 million rows,
mm.
and columns also, like close to 100 columns are there, variables. So does it, are there any issues in, like performance issue or any issue, right? When you connect the input data to such a huge data, is it by any chance?
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to do it. Okay, so there should not be anything. All depends upon your RAM, right?
Hmm.
How much your system can handle, right? This is again Alteryx Designer. It's on your
Yeah,
laptop anyway, right?
but yeah,
So
if you're using your own system, in professional setup, what does it do? Does it use any server memory or anything like that? Or does
yeah,
it
yeah.
also
In
use the system
professional,
RAM?
no, no, in professional also again you have designer which will use your system RAM, right? You
System
have
RAM only.
server,
Okay.
yeah. You have server which is not requiring system RAM, but again it's running on server, right? So data perspective, there are, I mean, as of my knowledge, there is not much of any limitation which you can do, but while building the workflow, it's good to keep the data as limited as you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
because every time you are executing or building this workflow, I mean, it will take lots of time to get all those data and do, right? Just take a sample of
Mm-hmm.
those data and build the
Mm-hmm.
workflow, then execute and publish, right? Then things should be
Mm-hmm.
working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So data wise, I don't think there is any
Limitation. Yeah.
limitation to input data. You can input any size basically. I mean, fairly Excel. How many size Excel items can you
Excel, I
have?
think
Excel also
it's
has
little more than 1 million that you can
no 1
copy. Not
million only, 1 million rows. So Excel has
yes, it is
limitation.
1024 something. 1.024 million or something.
Okay,
That you can
1 million
use.
rows per seat, right? So
Yes, per sheet, per
that's the
sheet.
Excel capacity, right?
Limitation. Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
So
Initially in old version it was 65,000 or something. Now it increased to 1.02 something million.
hmm,
That much is the maximum.
correct. And CSV file, there is no such restriction. It can pull up
No,
any.
but yeah, there is no restriction, but again, you will not be able to open it. When you open it in Excel, it will show that that loading is not completed.
But Alteryx can fetch those information
Yeah.
if even if
So
it's a
for that
huge
in
file.
Excel, I think we have something called, not in Excel, we have Microsoft Access, where you
Correct.
can store huge amount of data and you can write
Data.
SQL
Yeah.
queries, which will give
Correct.
you the results.
Correct. And database, right? Alteryx can connect to database like SQL, Oracle, and all, and
Yes.
it can pull large data set. I mean, all depend on the capacity, right?
Hmm.
Databases capacity and performance basically, and
Yeah.
the network connection. Alteryx should be able to pull on any kind of information. And on top of that, Alteryx, it's not like, I mean, once all the data flows from this input out flows out from this output anchor, then only it will go to here, then here. Not like that. It is a parallel processing, right? So the Excel, if you're doing some another kind of calculation in some other tool, it may take some time, but in Alteryx it will not take that much because it's parallel processing. Some data will flow here, some here, so it can
But it
execute in a
will
parallel way.
have to wait, right? Like parallel, all the blocks or all the tools will not execute at once, I think. So
Correct.
just correct
Not
me if I'm wrong, it will be sequential, right? Like one block is complete, then the data
correct.
goes
Correct.
to the other tool, then
Correct.
it will do its
See,
part and then throws the
see,
output, then other tool will start working.
you're right. Sequential. But if you kept all this application, all those tools aligned, it will
Align.
run parallelly as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these information will flow to all these application at a time. So to
Mm-hmm.
stop that, you have something called block until done. Okay. So which will block the flow of the data, right? So you have, let's suppose I'll put here. So what will
Mm-hmm.
do? It will block the work. It will send first to one,
Mm.
then let's say send to union, then let's say send to filter. Okay, something
Okay,
like that.
so this one you can insert in multiple places.
Multiple
You
places. Yes,
okay,
yes. Okay.
okay, okay. Yeah, it's good. I think here this way your execution time will increase, but control will be more.
Yes, yes. The data control, the things which you're trying to achieve, right? That will
Hmm.
be executed in a proper uh, kind of way, right?
Okay.
Okay. Just give me a minute. I'll come back. I'll take.
Yes, yes.
You
Okay.
can also take. I mean, just take 1 or 2 minute
Yeah,
break.
I'll just some pings I'm getting. I'll just inform someone.
Yeah.
That
I'll
I'm in
just
the
have
middle
some
of training.
water. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
yes. No
have some
problem.
water.
No
I'll come
problem.
back. Okay. Just take.
Yeah.
Let's take 1 minute break. Okay.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. All right. Now it's 10:30. We'll come by 10:31. Let's take 2 minutes. Okay. 10:32. We'll come back.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ricky, you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, all right. Okay, any question here as of now, whatever we have covered so far,
Mm,
or any thoughts?
Yes, like when you have this, so in SSIs, like you can put some notification kind of thing, right? So after every tool or block. So
Hmm.
let's suppose the tool is running automatically. Is there any notification on mail which goes like, okay, this. So you have let's say 10 or 12 tool or 15 tools, very complicated data model. So
Hmm.
does it show that okay, this much up to this much it is executed? Let's say you're working with very huge data and it takes time after every tool
Hmm.
to go to the next step. So is
Hmm.
there any mechanism through which you can send notification to a particular user who will be monitoring this task? Or does he have to come back and check the logs, the result window?
Hmm. Hmm. Good question. Okay, to answer your question, yes. Okay, it can, the user log or details can be sent out to any particular user. Okay, so
Mhm.
even while running also, if you want to have this log or any specific log, you can send it. I think if I remember it correctly, it should be here in the runtime. So
Runtime.
basically you will schedule or set this in the workflow itself. So whenever this particular workflow is getting executed, okay, the person or the email ID which you will mention will get the log, right? Running log of the workflow. And also if the user has encountered any error or something, they will get. Hold on, let me. I don't recall it properly, but yeah, it should be here.
This is
Product.
what standard window workflow, standard window path.
Yeah, yeah. This is the runtime. Championship. Okay. Okay, it should be here. I can, good question. I'll show you. Maybe I need to look for it. I have set up in my office workflow as well. Okay. And it should be here in this configuration itself. Event type, hold on, run command, send email. Okay, send email. Yeah, here. You can see it.
Yeah, where did you get this setup connection?
No, no, same. If you click on canvas, go to events.
Canvas,
Okay.
canvas events.
Yeah, enable events. That means it will, if there is any event, if someone runs the workflow or something, it will go and send email. Okay.
Hmm. But
And you
this is an
can,
overall email, right? Not condition specific email, right?
yeah, this is overall email that which will say user this, computer name this, working
Mhm.
directory this, got this error, conversation error, warning, or if they have not got any error, what is the output they have got, and tool specific also. If they have encountered any specific tool, any error, it will reflect over here as well.
But when you click on tool, don't get this option, right? Events, or do you get it?
Which events? No, no, events is
This
nothing
event.
but the event is nothing but the total workflow event. If someone is running the workflow
Mm-hmm.
and you have set as a owner of this workflow, you have said that I need this email, right? To let's say
You
your
have to connect, you have to set up the Outlook connection, right, to this, correct?
correct
Setup connection, okay.
DCM connection you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That will be done by admin, right? You will not be able to do on your own, right? Or
No, no, you can do. We have
you
email
can
tool
do.
also where we'll do. See, in reporting also we have something called email tool. I will cover that also. Okay, there we will
Okay,
set up the email every time the things is getting executed. You will receive email. You can set up in this way also.
okay.
Okay, if you want to see the report every day, or every time if you want to receive the report through an email, you can specify this tool and it will send out an email notification as well. Okay.
Okay, okay.
But this one which I'm showing over here, it is a workflow specific, right? If in
Workflow
this
specific.
particular workflow or in this particular work, right? If they have encountered any error, that event log can be sent out to any particular user or can be sent out to any distribution group as well.
Okay.
Okay, but mostly we use it in company, right? Let's say we have a distro list where workflow is scheduled in, let's say in a server, and the distro should be aware, right, when it's getting running and what's the output of the data, what's the error, right? Or any user or the owner of the workflow should be aware of that, right?
Mm,
So that's the reason we'll set up the event and we'll set up like this. Okay, like this you have meta information, okay, of the workflow itself. You have runtime. uh, you can see globally there is a limit, right? As of now, 4,000 MB megabytes, right? You can specify this also, right? This was set because sometimes people don't know, they will connect to a large database and things will occur. But if you have large data, you can specify this, right? And but this will hamper your performance, right? Alteryx performance.
mm,
Okay. And in Alteryx, let's suppose you want to create a temp file. Temp file means, let's suppose you are running the workflow and you are saving, it's creating an Excel sheet and it's saving somewhere, right? But if you don't want to put your local folder name, you want to, let's say it's running on the server, right? Then where it will save the workflow. And let's suppose the workflow or the Excel sheet again is getting used by the same workflow again in future, right? Correct. So in
mm.
that case, we sometimes use temp file. Temp file means the workflow will be saved in the workflow location. Alteryx workflow itself, right? Right now it's showing C user local temp, right? You can specify any temp location, temporary location. It will save over there as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have there is a certain other option we have in the runtime. Use amp engine. Amp engine is a pretty little new concept in Alteryx. You can some tool, some macro doesn't support amp engine. Okay, in that case, if let's say if you got a notification saying that off amp engine or it doesn't support amp engine, you have to off it like this. Okay.
AMP engine. Yeah. Runtime. What
Yeah.
is this
Yeah.
AMP engine? Does it, disable the execution of this tool?
No, no, no. It doesn't disable any execution. It's just, basically fast the workflow, right? It's a modern version in Alteryx where it uses amp engine to execute the workflow and it little faster compared to other normal version, right? But in
Okay.
certain macro, it doesn't support amp engine.
Okay.
In
So
that
by
case,
default, always do you use the AMP engine or it again depends when you want to use it?
no, you don't need to have amp engine on. Okay. So if you run workflow before running itself, it should ask for AMP engine. And right now I have clicked on yes, that's why it's not showing. But yeah, it should ask for AMP engine. Do you want the AMP engine to be run or not? Because I have
Mm,
set it to by default yes, so it's showing yes. Otherwise, it will every time you open workflow, it will ask whether you want AMP engine or not. If, irrespective, if you click on yes, no, doesn't matter. Your file will give the same output.
mhm,
Okay, it's just the backend uh, engine which is working with for Alteryx, right?
mhm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't use it, like use AMP engine, if you don't select it, then also it will do the tasks, right, without any
Yes,
issues.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah. It's like you have petrol engine and diesel engine, right? Depends on which
Mm.
engine you want to run.
So
You
this
have high,
AMP engine is making it faster, the way it
correct.
is executing.
Correct. If you want to learn more about the AMP engine, just come here, right? You have what is AMP engine? Alteryx engine is an operator that processes each record of the workflow. It runs workflow using the machine's core RAM memory, right? The current
Mm-hmm.
normal, right, is working on RAM. Our AMP Alteryx multi-threaded processing, that is called AMP, is a new architecture in Alteryx engine. As the name implies, AMP is a multi-threaded concept that processes data in parallel packet, right? In
Mm-hmm.
contrast, the original engine architecture processing data record by records sequential to run workflow. Okay, so that's basically the use of AMP engine. Okay, and again, you have
Mm-hmm.
in-depth details what is AMP engine. So if you see in Alteryx, everywhere if you want to have understanding of the things, right? Just click on I button. It will redirect and you will learn more about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you have here workflow. This is showing a standard, but let's say if you're creating a macro, right? You can again you can select batch macro, iterative macro. We'll cover this in depth. Okay, don't I'm just showing you overview, right? How where things are. Okay, so in depth I'll show you when we discuss macro. Again, macro you have three different types: standard macro, batch macro, iterative macro. You can select the workflow type. You can create this workflow as a macro itself. Okay, macro means you will not see all these things. You will see just one tool. Okay, and you will basically hide the workflow and you can run automatically. Depends on basically one work tools will be dependent on another tool, right? So these kind of loop we can create in Alteryx. Then analytics app, you can create this as an app itself, right? You can merge all three applications and create an app out of it. You can do that. And or standard workflow. So this is the standard workflow where you will build everything on your own. Okay.
Yeah.
Then again, engine like details, all those things are over here. Where is your workflow directory? Okay, where is your temporary file? All those things are mentioned over here. And again, if you have we're coming back to canvas. So this is overall your workflow thing, like workflow settings. We have overview, result window. In result window also you have configuration. Okay, let's say I clicked on run. Okay, now it's not showing anything. Let's do one thing. We'll select one. We'll start up with one tool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start up with the input tool. Okay. I'm just dragging and drop input tool. There are a couple of ways to get input tool. You can find it under input in and out. Okay. Or this is a global search option. Okay. You just need to search to put input. You'll get all these input. Okay. Any tool. If you're confused where it is, you just need
Mm-hmm.
to come here and search over here. You will get here as well. And it is not about tool. Let's suppose you want to have a question. You can ask question also. It will redirect you to the community page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How to connect to, let's say, database or something like that. Okay. If there are certain connection guide or there is some certain details are there in the community, it will direct here, right? So it is now giving me couple of things. Now it's giving me tools which can be connected. JSON, connect in DB, connect out, all these tools are related, right? Now on top of that, it is also giving me guidance on the through the community as well. These are my, you can go and select this and it will redirect you to the community. You can read and do everything on your own as well. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
All right. Then you have, okay, input. Before coming to input in and out, one thing I forgot to mention is all the tools are categorized as per their category, broader category, right? First one is in and out. You have input and output tool. All the output and input tool are merged here, right? Preparation is like that. All these prepare data preparation related things are here. Okay. Join, parse, transform in database. Like that, you have all this segregation, right? Basically all tools are combined in their own cluster and mentioned in a tool palette. window. Okay, and you have on this cog over here. If you click on this cog, right, it is showing configure tool palette, right? You can select all. You can
Yeah, which cock? Didn't understand. Can you please come back?
yeah, here if
So
you see
okay,
add or
just
remove tools, right? Setting cog
add or
kind of
remove
thing.
tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you select on this, basically when you install Alteryx first time, you will not have all these text like text mining, computer vision because these are all
Mm-hmm.
advanced, right? So all these will
Mm-hmm.
not be selected. I have selected this because I wanted to see all these things, right? So I have selected this and okay. So that's why you are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
However, in real world, whenever you download it for the first time, you will see until here documentation or reporting or max spatial. You will not see all these.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, all right. Then we'll set up with Alteryx input tool. So this is input tool again. When I'm clicking on this input tool, I have this configuration for input, right? So let's understand. First one is saying connect a file or database. We'll click on setup connection. Okay. Now I can select on file. If I have any kind of database or anything, I can select. Otherwise, if you have saved some Excel sheet, right? For now we have saved it, right? So I'll go to, let's say this is my sample data. I'll just select okay. Okay. Now it is asking you have selected data. You do you want any specific sheet, right? You have in that Excel sheet you have three
Mm-hmm.
sheets basically: orders, people,
Yes.
returns. So let's say orders, right? And
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, you can specify the range also. Let's say I don't want even order in orders. I don't want everything, right? I want, let's say, some specific cell, even from rows wise also, column wise also. Let's say from A1 to Z1, I want those columns, right? I don't want more than that, right? So my data
Mm-hmm.
is only there, so I want those things. So you can specify this or select name range. Let's say if you have in Excel, you have created some table, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
tables will reflect over here. Okay, so because by default it is orders table, it's showing order, same thing it is showing here. But if you have selected a you know uh, table or created a table inside
But
Excel,
when it imports the data, does it consider that, first row can be column header? Do you need to specify that?
you can specify that. That will come. I'll show
Mm-hmm.
you. Okay. So right now I'm showing you the connection one. Okay. Setup
Mm-hmm.
connection. Click on orders. You'll select everything right as per the requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Now one more thing, one more catch is that whenever let's say I'll show you. One more catch is Alteryx doesn't read the file if you have the same file open in some other application. Let's suppose I have
Mm-hmm.
opened the same Excel sheet. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
or I have used the same data set somewhere. So Alteryx will throw up error because Alteryx want that data set to be completely used. Okay, and if you have, you know, uh, basically used it somewhere, so it will not take. Okay, it will show error. Okay, it will show here that it is open in somewhere else. Okay, for now, let's click on OK. Now you see a connection. Okay, so this is my file path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now you can see small data preview over here also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you able to see?
Yeah.
Okay, now options. Now record limit. Here you can put record limit also. Let's say I want 100 row only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, refresh. You'll find only 100. Okay, here it is showing
Mm-hmm.
72, but here the output will be only 100. Okay, I'm running the workflow now. Okay, see 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
It only executed 100. Now, if I remove all, it should execute all. Okay, you have all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Okay.
this result window, see this is also result window, this is also result window. Again, this is tool specific, right? In some tool you will not see this
Mm.
preview,
This is
right?
preview pane. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
but this result window is always available for all the tool because this is input tool, right? Alteryx want you to set the input tool in a such a way that it should work, right? That's why it's giving a kind of preview. Without even running the workflow, you can see what and all are there, right? But
Mm.
result window only after you run the workflow, it will show over here. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now file format, you can specify any particular file format as well. There are plenty of file format. Okay. Now we have selected any from this setup connection and Excel. It's understanding it's an Excel file. Okay.
Mm.
Table queries. Now orders again same which table are there. So that's why it's saying orders table we selected. Now search subdirectory. Let's say if you have another file which you want, okay, and you want, and in the folder which you have specified there are subdirectory and you want some their files as well. You just click on this and it will pull up their data as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Now output file name as field. Whenever the output is coming, do you want the file name to be full name or only the file name, or you don't want any particular name for the output file whichever coming, right? If you
Mm.
specify no, that means in the output tool you will specify what is the file name. If you specify the full name, that means the same full name will go as a output. Okay, if you specify full path, the full path will go as a output.
Mm.
Okay. Now here first row contains data. Now let's suppose your first row doesn't have data. Okay. Now if you select this, now here everything is right? But let's say I'll open simple sample store. Hold on, let me just modify it. Now let's say if you have this is empty, right? Your data is not correct.
Mm.
You can see now my top one is showing F1, F2, F3, right?
Mm.
Hold on.
This is.
Okay, so I have unticked it. Now it's picking it from there, right? It's ignoring the first row and it's picking
Mm.
the column.
So what option is being selected here to ignore the first row? This one, right?
Here, first row contains data. Okay,
First row content.
if you
So.
select this,
Mhm.
you are saying that first row itself has data, right?
Mhm.
So it will take as it is. So your first row, you are saying first row is data, right? So it is taking first row as a data. So my first rows are row ID, order date. But these are not data, these are columns, right?
Yes, but
So,
this F1, F2, yeah, okay. But if your first row is blank, like in an Excel file, the second row has column header, and from
hmm.
the third row we have data. So is there something we can do, or
Yeah, we can do it. Okay, so you are saying now the first row is, you are saying second row is
first,
also blank.
yeah, let's say first row and second row are blank, third row has
Hmm.
column header, and
Hmm.
fourth row has data.
Yeah, you can
So
do. You can do. Hold on. Okay, so this is my normal thing, correct?
Hmm.
So if you do not select, Alteryx will by default take that. See, in our Excel sheet, we have
Hmm.
given we have given two blank row, right?
Hmm.
If you do not select this, Alteryx will search for the data and will see that the first two rows are blank, right? But still
Hmm.
it will take the, it'll ignore
First
the
row
blank
is
rows.
header.
Yes, it will take it as header. So Alteryx is that smart. You don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. All right. This is a way to do it. The input data. Second way I've showed you here as well, right? To search input data. Third way. Third way is, let's say I have this Excel sheet only, right? Okay. I don't
Hmm.
want to create input data and save all this. I just drag this Excel sheet itself. Same
Hmm.
configuration will get. Okay. I'll specify. It will turn to turn to an input tool itself.
Hmm. This
Same
is
thing.
a sample superstore data, right? The one you're using.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can use any
So
data set. It
yeah,
doesn't
I think
matter.
there was some sample superstore data. I think I heard it somewhere, maybe while learning Tableau or something. I don't remember, but
Yeah, in Tableau, in
yeah, you
Power
have the
BI,
sample
same
superstore data.
same because it's
Hmm.
available everywhere, right? You can have any data set. I mean, you can go to Kaggle, you can download any sample data
Mm-hmm.
set. That's fine.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay. If you have any specific data in mind, let me know. Okay, but
No, it's fine until so this will just import the data, right? Will it check, if the data has inconsistency, like
correct, correct. Those things
sometimes
will be
some
there. Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah.
that will come later, right? In data cleaning part, it will come, right?
Correct, correct, correct.
Okay.
So here, if you see,
So input tool will just, download the data, not download. I mean, it will import the data as it is without
correct.
uh, any modification, right?
Without any modification. You're exactly right. But the data part, you were saying the data is not consistent. You can still see here, although you can do all those calculation in the remaining tool as well. But still, in this result window, if you can see, right, it's showing partial result, 49% showing okay result, right? Okay, 100%. So it's showing all the data is correct. But if you have certain blank data, it will show here as red.
Mm. And
Okay.
let's suppose if you miss one column header, let's say you have this, right?
Hmm.
That Excel file, just maybe last question. If you go back to the Excel file,
Okay.
let's say you delete, let's say you have this country, city, state, let's say you just delete the column header, don't not the data, just the column header. For some reason,
Okay.
someone has missing writing the column header, right?
Hmm.
Then if you try to import the data, will it
Okay.
automatically give some header by default?
Yeah. Let's check that. Okay. If you can see, the default is nothing but F9, the
F9,
column name,
okay,
right?
okay,
Then
okay.
in future, in further tool, you can rename this
Hmm.
as country,
Okay.
right? From the analysis, we can understand that okay, this one is removed, the country is
Hmm.
removed. That's why this is showing F9. Then I'll
Hmm.
create a formula tool which will say whenever there is state, just rename the column as country. It will rename it as country.
So where that renaming will be done?
So that again will be done in the different tool, right? It can
Okay,
be done in
okay,
select tool. See
okay,
F9.
different tool. Okay,
Yeah, I'll
okay,
select country, right? I'll go ahead. Now I'll go to output tool of that select tool. See?
okay. So every time you have to see the output, you have to click on that green arrow, right?
Correct.
Green
Here,
arrow.
as I mentioned, right? Every tool has their own output, right? Here it
Hmm.
has their own here it has their input output, right? So if you select on input, that means showing what and all input came to the select tool, right? It came
Okay.
as F9, right?
Hmm.
And
And
what
after
what
processing
what
it,
is
it
after
became
processing it,
country.
country, right? So that's how we'll see. Or else the result window also has the same thing: input, output, input,
Okay.
output. Like if you click on this select tool, you don't have input, you have only output, because anyway, right? It's making sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.